Hey there, it's Lacey J, here to ask you to go to spacebearmedia.com right now to access all our content, buy yourself some merch, and most importantly, send us a message, a question, fan mail, even hate mail. We'll respond on YouTube. Also, please remember to rate and review the podcast on your favorite app or share it with someone you know who loves Lost. Hello, everybody, and Namaste. It's season 5, episode 9. It's called Namaste. It's a Dharma Initiative episode, and it's a Ben episode. But first, how's everybody doing this week?
Great.
I'm doing great.
All righty. Shall we review where we were after the power rankings at the end of episode 8. Thanks again, Dave, for being here last week and for adding to our season 5 power rankings. Ben, where'd we end?
We ended with Aaron, third from the bottom, negative 23 points. Frogert with negative 29 points, and Charles Widmore at the top of the bottom with 31 points negative.
That Charles Widmore,
Wow.
He just,
Kinda
everybody
stumbled through
hates
that last
him.
one, didn't I?
It's okay. Aaron's going to be in the bottom for the rest of the season, and he's going to have to win a medal, and then I'm going to have to apologize for killing him, and it's...
Well, we'll just have to see about that. At the top, we have Locke in third place with 49 points. Dan Faraday in second place with 52 points. And Sawyer streaking to the top with 62 points.
Yes, Sawyer. I love that Dan's been on the top, but I mean, I got to give it to Sawyer this season. He's so great.
Yeah.
Of course, Dan Faraday's episode is yet to come. All right, guys. Ben?
Yeah?
Could you please take us through Namaste?
I will. We start in 2007, somewhere over the Pacific. The episode opens with a plane bearing the Ajira Airways logo on its tail, moving through the night sky. Inside the cabin, Kate is nervously looking around. Sun sits glumly, Jack introspectively, Saeed blank-faced, and Alana asleep. A flight attendant is pushing a beverage cart through first class. Ben sits in the back of the cabin. Caesar, preoccupied with a magazine, sits next to Hurley in the front. Inside the darkened cockpit, Lapidus sits with his co-pilot, who says, "Want to hear something crazy? Did you see that big guy when we got in L.A., sitting in the first class? Curly hair, guitar case? He's one of the Oceanic 6. Guy's got nerves of steel, man. He survives a full-on commercial airliner crash. Now he's back flying over the same South Pacific." Lapidus replies, "Yeah, well, maybe he doesn't believe that lightning will strike twice in the same place."
Uh-huh.
Made me rethink my stance on Lapidus just being like, okay, because all these other people on the
He's
plane.
the ultimate enabler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Lapidus, he's sort of the ultimate bro and definitely goes along with it. But also, I think Lapidus maybe has seen enough to know that he didn't really have a choice in this matter.
I'm not so sure about that. I think it is weird in this episode that, he's like, I got to take care of my passengers or whatever, yet he, willingly just pushed them into this situation.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you'd have run to the bar and gotten drunk, and so I can't fly now. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I suppose. I just, I don't know. I mean, we got to get back to the island, guys. Stop blaming Lapidus for it.
That's true.
He's flying the plane.
I get
He's
it.
flying the plane.
Yeah.
There's
okay,
that.
but Hurley bought out most of the seats, so...
His best.
Just as the co-pilot laughs, the plane violently shakes and rattles. In the cabin, the Oceanic 5 all look around nervously. Back in the cockpit, the co-pilot notices the stone-cold face on Lapidus and asks if he's all right. Lapidus says he's fine as the plane shakes even more fiercely. The co-pilot turns on the fasten seatbelt sign. The
Everybody
fashionable
put on
seat
your
sign.
best fashion. We about to crash. You don't want to die in your skivvies.
Hurley looks over to Caesar and says, "Dude, you might want to fasten your seatbelt." And then he pulls an eye mask over his face. He's prepared for this. Like he's just.
Yep.
Indeed.
He's like, okay.
He's ready.
I know how I'm doing this time. Lapidus stares out the windshield and whispers, "Oh no." A powerful jolt hits the plane and the power flickers. What? Is there something about the way I said that was funny to you?
No, I'm just laughing at Lapidus is like, okay, so here we go.
Yeah,
If I
that's
was a
just
co-pilot, I'd be like, oh, shit.
right.
Right? I'd be like, I'd feel like I jinxed it after mentioning the Oceanic 6 and then all of a sudden.
Oh no, I didn't change course, so of course this is going to fucking happen.
Right.
Luggage falls from the overhead bin, and the Oceanic 5 look around at each other. Lapidus and the co-pilot are flipping switches to turn the autopilot off. An alarm begins sounding, and the rattling and shaking continues. And then that dumbass flight attendant who didn't sit down screams as she's thrown off balance. Ah!
One other thing in here, at this moment, I wondered if anybody else noticed this, but as the plane, starts shaking or whatever, and they're showing the people in the cabin, and every single person in the cabin looks concerned, except for the 5 who are returning, Ben and Ilana. Did anyone notice how calm Ilana looked when all of this was happening?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, I did. And it makes me real fucking suspicious of her because why are you so calm unless you know what's happening?
Ben was in the laboratory.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Okay, you're right. Ben's in the bathroom. Yeah. Sorry, I just meant outside. Everyone who you could see, who knew what was going to happen, appeared relatively calm, like, okay. And Ilana, sitting next to Saeed, just kind of sat back and closed her eyes. I don't know. I noticed it, and it makes me distrust her because in the same way, like I got a bad feeling from Caesar in a couple episodes ago because he was hiding his gun. I'm getting like a weird feeling from her because like, why is she not freaking out when the plane is crashing?
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just how she reacted to it. I don't know that I would get all crazy. I might just try to calm myself down because there's nothing you can fucking do.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess that could be too.
I would flip my shit.
Be screaming.
I'm surprisingly good in an emergency situation. It's afterwards when the adrenaline wears off that I let the feelings really come in, and then I'm just like, a blubbering mess.
Oh, same. That's what it's like to work in an emergency room because I have spent most of my veterinary career in the ER, and like you've got animals dying or euthanasias or coding, and you're doing CPR, and everybody we're all very calm, automatic, respond, do our thing, and then when it's over, everybody cries. Basically, that's what happens. Yeah.
Back on Ajira flight 816 or whatever the fuck it is, 815. Is that what it is?
It's 316. It's flight 316.
316. There you go.
Yeah. Remember? That was the episode title a couple
Oh,
weeks
that's
ago.
right. Anyway, back on that plane, Kate clenches her eyes shut and prepares for a blowjob. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Prepares for a blow. Prepares to blow. Shit. No, she prepares for a blow. Lapidus is struggling with the plane controls as a magnetic hum begins. The cabin begins to flood with a bright white light. The same dumbass flight attendant goes flying across the plane again.
I hate her.
She's just a stunt dummy at this point. They just throw her left to right and right to left across screen. Everything is shaking, buzzing, humming, and then there's a loud whoosh. It's total whiteness and silence. Total fucking silence.
Total fucking silence.
But only for a second. The buzzing and humming and shaking stop. All of a sudden, the airplane is gliding through the air without engines. I think it's meaning without the engines running.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
the
engine's still
engines are
there.
attached.
Engines are
yes.
still there. Yes.
Yeah.
Lapidus and the co-pilot stare out the window, dumbfounded, because night has turned to blue skies. An alarm sounds, the instrument panel flickers, and an automated voice says, "Stall." They quickly restart the engines and see the altimeter read 650. You're so fucked.
Ruh-roh.
A plane that size? Yeah.
You can't spool them up that quick.
No, man.
Lapidus
The plane cuts through the cloud
can.
layer. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
The plane cuts to the cloud layer, and as the clouds part around the windshield, the lush green face of a mountain is straight ahead. Lapidus
sucks.
says, "Oh my God." And then
You know
pulls
what?
back on the controls.
Speaking of Lapidus, I've been rewatching all of Criminal Minds because I got through SVU again a couple months ago, and he's in an episode. And check this shit out. In almost 3 consecutive or 2 consecutive episodes, there was Lapidus and then there was Ethan. And guess Ethan, he played a psycho, of course. But
Of course.
and
Shocker.
then in when I say 3 consecutive episodes reminded me of us, I saw Lapidus, then I saw Ethan. Then in an episode after that, one of the characters, Reed, his mother is a schizophrenic, and she's played by Jane Lynch, the great Jane Lynch. Yeah. And you often see her. He visits her in the mental hospital, and he went there to the mental hospital, and guess what the fuck she was wearing?
A
Close.
Lost t-shirt?
I'm guessing a robe.
A robe.
Robe, yeah.
A robe, the official mental institution gear.
Yeah.
Everyone just got out of the shower there.
Yeah, I
Robe
saw
or a
that.
straight, it's gonna be a robe or a straight jacket. One or the other.
Yep.
And when I saw her in the robe, I just busted out fucking laughing, thinking about Hurley. It was like, wow, it really, really is a trope. But anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, we get back, and Lapidus had just said, "Oh my God," saw the mountain, pulls back, and then you hear the engines roar, and the plane banks hard to the right, just barely clearing the mountain, only to have another one appear in front of him. Of
course.
And Lapidus rolls it hard left and clears the second mountain as well. An ocean shore comes into view, and parallel to the shore is the beige cuts into the dense green jungle of a runway.
And after those turns, like pretty much that flight
He's
attendant
lined
is
up.
just like
Just happened
mush.
to be right lined up on final. Man,
I know, man.
amazing.
The non-seatbelted flight attendant, her brains are all over the wall at this point.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's
Lapidus
just
is a
a
hell of a pilot.
Oh,
hell
absolutely.
yeah. Hell yeah. And Lapidus says, "Is that a runway?" The
Well,
control panel beeps wildly, and then the
It is
engine
now.
sound stripped away. Exactly. Lapidus says he's going to put the plane down, and the co-pilot is calling, "Mayday!" An automated
Good luck.
voice can be heard saying 4, 8, 15, 16. The plane is coming in steep, and the men brace themselves. The rear landing gear takes out a bunch of palm trees as it plummets towards the gravel runway. The plane touches down on the runway far too fast, and Lapidus throws the engines into reverse. The jetliner barrels along the runway, tearing up the landing surface. At the end of the runway approaches, and Lapidus screams, "Brace for impact." I think what he said is we're running out of runway or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
brace
no,
for
yeah, it's
impact.
too short of a runway.
Yeah. The plane veers slightly to the right off the runway where we saw it in last week's opening. The pilots are thrown into the instrument panel, and the screen goes black.
At least the doors stayed on.
I'm almost wondering if he did this just so he could do this. Like he's like somebody who you take a junker out to do donuts or something like that. I feel like he's just sort of saying like, "Hey, I get a chance to crash a plane." I don't know.
think
As a
that-
pilot, he'd probably be like, "Yeah, survival rate's really low." So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
wouldn't-
never mind.
I think Lapidus was carrying some guilt for not being on the oceanic flight. Right? Because like he had his buddy take it, and then he ended up dying.
Oh, that's true. That's
And
true.
I think he had a little bit of guilt from that. And maybe you're right, Ben. Maybe this was his chance to be like, okay, I was supposed to be on that plane. I'm going to go be on this one, but I'm landing that son bitch.
That's that's a big that's putting fate and faith over practicality, but yeah,
Absolutely.
I assume that could be what's going on. It's difficult to know what's going deep in the waters of Lapidus. Like the dude is
Deep in the waters of Lapidus.
yeah. Sometime later.
Deep in the waters of his clear blue eyes.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Sometime later, a bloody-faced Frank Lapidus gasps to consciousness. His clothes are sopped with blood, and he's panting in pain. He turns his head to see the co-pilot impaled by a tree. He tells his buddy, "Stick around."
I thought this scene was really incredible because had he landed or had he been on the oceanic flight, he would have been the pilot who was impaled.
Yeah.
And now he lands this one and it's still the other pilot who gets impaled, but it certainly like mirrors that. You know what I mean?
He screams, Lapidus!
Yeah.
And then opens up the cockpit door and pokes a flashlight into the dark cabin. Whimpering can be heard, and Alana can be seen unconscious in her seat. Caesar shakes her until she wakes up and says, Jira. He says, no, my name is Caesar. We had an accident, but we're okay now. Alana looks for Saeed, but finds nothing but an empty seat. Lapidus is staggering toward them as Caesar tries to help Alana up. Sun notices Lapidus and says, Frank? He helps her up and asks where everyone else is. A familiar voice chimes in to say, they're gone. Lapidus whirls around, aiming his flashlight to illuminate a suspiciously calm-looking Benjamin Linus. I think he just had a wonderful movement while he was in the bathroom.
Yes. And with all that turbulence, the shit is just covering the walls.
Oh, God.
A panting Lapidus says, gone? Gone where? And Ben replies, how would I know?
Of course, Ben. You wouldn't know.
He's so straight-faced and dry. Yep. And then the look on Sun's face after he said that, she's like, I don't think I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's like, this motherfucker knows something.
He always knows something.
Yes.
And if he doesn't, he just kills the person, so.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
30 years earlier, 1977-ish, on the north shore of the island, the surf is rolling in, and we're back to the moment where episode 8 ended, where Jack, Hurley, Jen, and Kate are by the Dharma bus while Sawyer stands amazed by his Jeep. It's funny because it read like he's amazed by his Jeep.
Yeah, his Jeep is amazing, yeah.
This Jeep is such an amazing vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay.
We again watch Sawyer remove his glasses and lock eyes with Kate. Only this time, the scene continues, and we see Jack notice the eye contact and look at Kate. Hurley sets the guitar case down and moves towards Sawyer, saying, "You're alive, dude. I can't believe it." He laughs.
I'm crying. I'm like tears. When they hug, I'm just like, oh my God, they're back.
He laughs and picks up Sawyer in a giant bear hug, and Sawyer says, "Easy on the ribs there, Kong." Hurley keeps laughing. Kong. I actually missed that.
Oh.
Sawyer says, "Miss you too, Hugo."
It was a sweet moment.
It is. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And look how far they've come too, from Hurley having to whoop his ass in a tent because he won't stop calling him names to like suddenly finding it endearing.
Jack steps forward and offers his hand. They shake. Says Sawyer. Sawyer says, "Doc." Kate comes closer to Sawyer and they fall into a warm hug. He says, "Good to see you, Kate." And she replies, "You too, James." LaFleur sighs and then exclaims, "You're really here. Son of a bitch actually did it. Locke said he was going to bring you back. But where is he?" Kate and Jack both look down, and Jack says, "I drove him to suicide. Big whoop. Want to fight about it?"
Homage. We always have to include Family Guy in at least every other episode.
Yes. Actually, what Jack says is John's dead, but he refuses to say how when Sawyer asks. Hurley asks why they're all wearing Dharma jumpsuits, and Sawyer looks to Jin and says, "You didn't tell him?" Jin says he was waiting for Sawyer to tell them, and Kate says, "Tell us what?" Sawyer explains that they're part of the Dharma initiative now, and Jack is surprised that Dharma has returned to the island. Sawyer quickly corrects him by saying, "No, we came back, and so did you. It's 1977. They all stare at each other in shock, and Hurley says, what?
What?
Lost title screen.
Nobody says, what? Better than Hurley.
Yeah.
It was either that or just, dude.
No, he uses dude. He uses dude on Jin in his English in a minute.
That's right. Back to the shocked returnees. Jack says, "So you're telling me you've been living here in the Dharma Initiative for the past 3 years?" Sawyer confirms this and wonders how long it's been since they left on the chopper. Kate tells him it's been 3 years. Miles comes over the radio asking Jin where he is. Jin looks to Sawyer and says, if I don't report in soon, they'll send out a patrol. What should we do with them? And then Hurley looks at Jin and says, dude, your English is awesome. Sawyer thinks they need to bring everyone back to Dharmaville because they aren't safe in the jungles with the hostiles. Kate says, the hostiles? And Sawyer clarifies, the others. Hurley is worried about everyone else from Ajira 316, and Sawyer says, what do you mean, everyone else? Jack tells them that Saeed, Lapidus, and Sun were all on the plane. At the sound of Sun's name, Jin takes off for the Jeep. Sawyer's trying to stop him because they need to think about what they're going to do next, but Jin, he can't be controlled. He's going to the flame because he knows that if the plane has landed on the island, that Radzinsky would know about it. Before Sawyer can say anything else, Jin starts the Jeep and takes off. That's Sawyer's favorite Jeep, by the way. That was the one he was talking about how much he loved. You don't fuck with another man's ride.
Son of a bitch. He took my Jeep.
That would be amazing if he said, son of a bitch. This Sawyer son of a bitch brought to you by Jeep. Sawyer tells the group to stay put while he figures out how to explain where they came from. And then Kate says, Sawyer, wait. Other than you and Jin, who else is still here?
Ruh-roh.
Yep.
Miles is in the Dharma security office when Juliet enters to ask where James is. Miles doesn't know and says he's not answering his walkie. She tells him that Jin called this morning and then he disappeared. So Miles decides to use the cameras to locate them. He bangs on a monitor to see Sawyer entering the house. Inside Sawyer and Juliet's house, Sawyer is rummaging through a wardrobe, grabbing clothes. Juliet comes in and asks what's going on. Sawyer says, they're back. Jack, Hurley, Kate. A shocked Juliet says, what? He tells her they're at the North Point waiting for instructions. Juliet, who can barely speak over a whisper, says, how did they get? Sawyer interrupts her to say he's unsure, but they mentioned a plane. He drops a bag of clothes, sighs, and says, I don't understand it any more than you do, but they're here, and I got to find a way to bring them in before somebody else finds them and they screw up everything we got here.
Whoa.
The looks on both of their faces, they were both like crying. I think that it was partially joy and partially shock and just so many emotions.
For Julia, it's like, damn it, that Kate's back.
No, Juliet feels, I'm sure she's strong in her relationship. Kate's
I would imagine I would imagine that as well, but this is really interesting, like kind of answers the question where we were talking about last week in those last moments of the show. First, Sawyer tells Horace 3 years is enough to get over somebody. Then Kate walks into the picture and we were all kind of teasing Sawyer and be like, oh, really? Well, let's test that, as if he would jump right back to Kate. But we're seeing now, maybe not. Maybe he's loyal to Juliet now. He's like, I don't want them to screw up what we have here. That's intense.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. He spent, what, like 108 days with Kate, and he has spent 3 years building a life with Juliet.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think
agree.
that's any contest at all.
I don't either, but I think that considering the old Sawyer, I mean, we've only known LaFleur for 1 week at this point, right? And considering the old Sawyer and everything that happened with Kate, it's like, were he to have not grown up, he may have been sucked right back into that. And so this is just even more confirmation. Like everything we saw in LaFleur is like Sawyer is growing up or has grown up over these 3 years that we didn't get to see. And then this is really putting it to the test. And he was like, yeah, no, I'm good. I don't want them fucking up our shit. We have a good life. And it's just kind of amazing to see Sawyer. He's making the choice to settle down and stay in a house with someone and be a security officer over the old Sawyer. It's just lovely to see, honestly.
Yeah.
So after he says this thing, basically, I got to find them before they screw everything we've got here, or screw up everything we've got here. Juliet mentions that there's a sub coming in this afternoon.
She's like, get that
Right on
bitch
cue.
off this island.
I don't. Yeah, I know.
No.
You could think of it that way, but no. In this case, I think she's actually giving him a hint of maybe a way
to get him in.
Get him in. Jin arrives at the flame. Inside, Radzinsky is gluing matchsticks to a model of the Swan Station. Jin bursts in and runs past him while Radzinsky says, "Hey, you understand the concept of knocking?"
Fuck this guy. I hate this guy.
Yeah.
It's a douche.
Jin makes it into
plays
the
a
monitor
douche
room.
in everything that he's in, too.
What other stuff is he in?
Yeah.
I
you
know
remember?
that I've seen his face and I remember it being douchey.
Oh my God, that's so funny. All right, Ben, keep going. I'll look up Radzinsky's IMDb.
Yep, there you go.
Jin makes it into the monitor room and starts flipping switches. Something prints out, and Jin is looking at it when Radzinsky snatches it from his hands and scolds him. Jin says he needs to check the radar logs for a plane. Radzinsky is offended that Jin thinks he'd be building his model if a plane had landed.
Oh, calm down, dickwad.
Jin tells him to check with the other stations. Radzinsky tries to say no, but Jin throws him up against a wall and says, "Check with the other stations."
Damn right.
Damn.
Radzinsky radios to the other stations and, while laughing, says if anyone else has seen an airplane to call it in. He asks Kwan why this is so important to him. Jin lies and says, "It just is."
He was in Narcos.
I haven't seen that.
Okay. I'm looking for stuff I thought you might see, but Grey's Anatomy? Did you watch Grey's Anatomy? Looks like he was on that.
Most of it.
Oh, Once Upon a Time. I watched that. I don't remember him. Oh, he was only in one episode.
Probably a douche.
Yeah, he's just a character actor.
A
he was on
douchey character
Fringe?
actor.
He was on Fringe, another J.J. Abrams for two episodes.
I remember. I think I remember seeing him in that. I can't remember who he was though.
It looks like he does a lot of like one or two kind of like episodes here and there in a lot of shows. He was on Grimm. Might have
red
seen
shirt.
that. I watched that. CSI, Miami, Weeds. Did you watch Weeds? Says he was
I
on
did watch
Weeds.
Part of
Weeds.
it.
He was on 4 episodes of that. Modern Family. He was on Law and Order SVU, so I've seen him there. I just didn't realize.
Everyone's been on that
memorable, yeah.
fucking show.
And he's on Criminal Minds too. So I guess I got that
of course.
Radzinsky coming up. It looks like he just does all kinds of TV shows, an episode or two here or there. So who knows? Oh, he's on The West Wing, so I saw him there too. This guy's got quite a career. He's one of these like people who is a constantly working actor on television. Is what it looks like. So good for him.
Stranger Things, he was a weird. He always plays somebody who's a little off.
Yeah.
But it's interesting looking at him in more recent pictures. He's got his hair nice and close. He's not wearing glasses. His beard is nice and close. He's actually a pretty handsome guy.
Yeah, I noticed that on the IMDb page. Yeah, he does look.
They always
different,
neck
like
beard him
handsome.
out and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, as
beard.
Radzinsky, he's just a douche. So, anyways. Anywho.
Back to the Hydra Island beach in 2007. Sun is clutching Jim's wedding ring and looks out to the sea. A Jira 316 can be seen in the background. Ilana approaches and asks, "Did you lose someone?" Sun says that she was traveling alone. Just then, Lapidus shouts, "Can I get everybody's attention? Everyone, please, listen up, folks. Here where we're at, the radio's dead, so I haven't been able to call in our situation. But that's all right. As soon as they figure out we're not where we're supposed to be, they'll come looking for us. So the best thing to do right now is just stick together.
We've heard
Stick
this
together,
before.
hunker down, and just wait till the help gets here."
Together, die alone.
There you go.
To which Caesar asks, "And where is here? What is this place?" Lapita says he doesn't know because the island's not on his chart. Caesar is skeptical and says, "There are some buildings over there and animal cages. Down the beach, you can see Bigger Island across the water. So maybe you should get some new charts."
Maybe you should
Damn.
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, Caesar.
He's like, "I'd get new charts, but I'm going to have them delivered. And we don't have an address here, so I don't know how the fuck that's going to happen, Caesar."
It's not on their charts either to deliver charts.
Very helpful, Caesar.
DoorDash and Instacart don't come here, Caesar.
Yes, not yet anyway. Not yet. As Benjamin Linus gets up and wanders into the jungle, Lepidus tells Caesar he's just trying to keep everyone safe. Lepidus suggests getting firewood, but Caesar disagrees. He thinks they should search the buildings for supplies and says, "Who wants to help me?" While this is happening, Sun notices Ben walk away and follows him. Then Lepidus notices Sun leaving and follows her. So right here, what do you guys do? You go to the buildings or you stay on the beach?
I go to the buildings.
Yeah, I'd go to the buildings.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Go to Dharmaville.
Yep.
Well, they're not on Dharmaville
You're more
Island.
likely to find something useful in a building than just on the beach.
Exactly.
But they're on Hydra where the offices were and the experiments and the polar bears and the cages and whatnot.
Right. I meant a little bit later in the episode. My bad.
Yeah. What you mean when Sun and Ben?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, Sun has lost sight of Ben, but from behind her, he says, "Why are you following me?"
He's
Sun
so
spins
creepy
around
too.
and says,
Yeah.
"Where are you going?" He replies, "Back to our island. You want to come?"
Our island.
Yeah, our island. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Probably a very subtle manipulation on Ben's part. When you say
Ben
our
manipulate?
island,
Never.
then maybe she'll come with me. But the way he delivers the line, "You want to come?" is priceless.
Yeah.
Yep.
Back to the Dharma barracks in 1977, Amy is sleeping in a hammock while Juliet quietly takes a clipboard from the table beside her. Amy wakes and Juliet says she came to get the submarine manifest because Amy shouldn't be working. Amy says that 2 of the recruits backed out because they didn't want to take the sedative for the trip, and Pierre needs to know. Juliet picks up the baby and asks if they decided on a name. Amy says, "Yeah, we have. We're going to name him Ethan."
What?
That baby.
What?
I do like Juliet's face here.
Yes.
It looks
I
like
wrote
she's
that
about to
down.
fucking puke.
Yep.
I wrote exactly in my notes, her face says, "Ew."
A shocked Juliet returns him to Amy, who just chucks him. Ugh.
Yeah.
A shocked Juliet
You just shit on me.
punts Ethan into the ground.
I know.
Oops.
Spikes him.
Oh my God.
So a shocked Juliet returns him to Amy, who asks when Juliet and Jim will have a baby. Juliet says, "I don't know. Timing's got to be right."
Ooh, the reappearance of Ethan could be good news for Aaron.
Oh.
I just realized
here.
that. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Ethan, he always sweeps the bottom.
You'd still have to put a fucking infant in the bottom of the power rankings. But,
Yeah, but
at
it's
least
a bad infant.
At least this time we're gonna have some some choice photoshopping opportunities for that.
Oh, I guess you're right. I guess technically, because like I was using Widmore's face on the island, so too. So like if he does make it in the bottom, I'll have to put like Juliet holding him.
You know what? I'm using a generative AI service now, so I might be able to get some images where we can put like William Mapother's face on an infant's body.
Okay, that is creepy as
Jesus,
fuck.
some of the AI stuff they come out with is really creepy looking.
It is creepy.
They can't do fingers. They don't
No.
have anything.
No.
Like people
Yeah.
have like 10 fingers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people always have extra limbs and stuff. I've been working with it a lot lately, and it's like it's all about the prompting, and it's cool, it's fun, but you come up with some weird shit sometimes.
I mean, I could put Ethan's face on a baby with just a meme maker, really. But yeah, the AI thing is cool. Have you guys ever seen? I've been following this. Oh, maybe it's not a page. No, it's a group. It's a group on Facebook that is called Boomers Misunderstanding AI or something like that.
God.
And so it's just a group full of people sharing posts of like boomers freaking out. And like the most recent one I saw, it was like a baby and a little dog or something, like sitting in a little baby pool or whatever. And it was just like full of boomers, just like, oh, bless this child and this puppy and all this stuff. And like they can't recognize that it's AI somehow, even though, like you mentioned, Derek, the baby had like six fingers on one hand, which not that that's impossible, but it was sort of like
polyploidism it's not very common outside of like Hasidic Jewish communities.
Yeah, so I mean, right, not that it couldn't happen, but it is definitely a sign of AI. And then it also had that like airbrushed sort of look to it, and
there's always a filter on them,
volumetric so lighting.
It was so obviously fake, and so anyways, that's a group I belong to. It's just people just shaming
doing all
boomers.
those deep fakes with all the celebrities, turning them into porn stars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and celebrities are starting to sue people for that.
I think they should be able to. That's a bit
even in my work training, they're using AI to use deep fake voices to trick you to think it's your CEO calling you need to send money or whatever, for work related, and it's actually scammers.
Yeah.
They actually make their voice exactly like duplicated.
No, there is a common scam going around now where you answer the phone and it's
like
a deep fake voice of a relative asking for money and telling you how to Western Union it and stuff like that. And of course, it's like boomers who fall for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
My company will send out emails periodically, and we're supposed to be able to tell if it's phishing or not. So we report it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So
my college does that too.
Yeah. So I get an email from my boss, who is the general operations manager for 2 states. And we know that I'm not that important. So I get an email from her that she was unexpectedly called out of town, and here are the links and passwords to my email. So please check my email for me. I just immediately started laughing because I was like, there's no way she would fucking do that.
That's a bit obvious on the part of your IT security team, but okay.
Yeah, that one was really not hard.
My old company, if you fell for it 4 times, you could be disciplined. It opens a huge.
Yeah, I think that's fair because you could destroy their internal systems, letting someone in like that.
We have customer information of hundreds, thousands of customers, and that gets leaked. That's a data breach, and it's fines, and it's all over the news. So
yeah, we have a lot of personal identifying information available in our stuff too. And if you fail to catch a phishing thing, then you immediately have to take a quiz. Immediately, they're like, you have to take more training.
It sounds annoying, but I can definitely understand
now.
it.
In the beginning, grammar errors, misspellings, you could easily tell it was something fake. But
well, now you have just generative AI write the whole thing for you, and you could
Oh, right. So it'll be in the grammar and syntax of the people that you're scamming that might not be the same as yours. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have
thieves are creative.
Arabian princes now that have a great command of the English language.
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, I was just like, I know that she doesn't like me that much. There's no way in hell she would give me that much trust.
Your boss doesn't like you.
That's so funny.
I don't think she likes me that much. Certainly not well enough to give me access.
That's stupid anyway. I wouldn't give any employee access to my personal
that's crazy.
No way.
Back to is it Ethan?
Back to Lost.
Yeah. Back at the North Shore, Jack is nervously tapping on his wristwatch. Kate wonders if the woman who told him how to get back also told him it would be 30 years ago. Jack says she left that part out. Technically, she didn't. She says if you don't have anyone, it could be unexpected,
unpredictable.
Unpredictable.
She said yes. She said that you recreate it as much as possible, or the results could be unpredictable. And maybe that is what she meant. Some of you in 2007, some of you in 1977.
He didn't have that fucking kid. That was the problem.
Yep.
Fuck you. Ron ruins the day again.
He's not even in the episode.
I need to change who I'm killing.
A vehicle approaches, and Hurley calls out, Sawyer's back in his favorite Jeep. Sawyer gets out with clothes that he brought and says, all right, listen, you're all going to be the second batch of recruits coming in off the sub, pulling into the port right now, so we ain't got much time. He's handing out the clothes and tells them everyone's got blip. He hands out the clothes and tells them everyone gets knocked out before the trip, so no one meets each other until we process them. Jack wants to find the rest of the people from the plane, but Sawyer assures him that if there is a plane, Jin will find it. He says they have 10 minutes to make intake, or they will be in the jungle for a long time. The next batch of recruits isn't expected for another 6 months.
Oof.
Jack asks Kate what she thinks, and she says, I think we should listen to Sawyer. Hurley chimes in, I vote for not camping. Sawyer looks to Jack and says, trust me, do what I say. Everything will be fine. Jack nods in agreement, and Sawyer says, let's move. At the Flame, Jin is waiting while Radzinsky types away on the keyboard. He says he just heard from the Looking Glass. They were the last to check in, and nobody saw a plane. At this, an alarm sounds, and Radzinsky says, those bastards, grid 325, motion sensor alarm was tripped. We got hostile inside the perimeter. Jin pulls out his gun and takes off running. Radzinsky follows, calling after him. Jin makes it to some tall grass where he spots a figure. He aims his gun and says, stop right there. A handcuffed man reveals himself, and it's Saeed fucking Jarrah.
Oh, yeah.
Saeed looks shocked, and Jin immediately says, where's son? Saeed says he doesn't know. Radzinsky appears and cocks his weapons so that they know he's serious. At this, Jin cocks his as well and then forces Saeed to the ground, saying, shut up, get down, say another word and you're dead. A very confused Saeed complies.
Saeed's face here is amazing because at the same time, you can see that he says, okay, I trust you. I'm going to go along with this. But what the
actual
fuck
exactly
is happening right now?
Yeah, but he knows what's going on with that, but not of like, what the hell's going on.
Yeah, but it comes across very much that he's like, I trust you, I got you, I'm playing along, but like the shock on his face is also incredible. The actors on this show are so great.
If I were Radzinsky, coming up on this scene right here, and after I've cocked my rifle or whatever, I hear Jin do his. I'm like, wait, you encountered him first. Why are you not loaded and ready for loaded for bear? What the fuck is going on here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't serious. That's why.
Exactly. Obviously, you're not serious about the security job.
Yeah.
So Sawyer is driving a DHARMA van with Jack, Kate, and Hurley inside. Hurley again confirms that they're actually part of the DHARMA initiative. And then he mentions the purge and how all DHARMA gets murdered.
Yep.
He saw the pile of bodies and wants to know if Sawyer will warn them. Sawyer says, I ain't here to play Nostradamus to these people. Besides, Faraday's got some interesting theories on what we can do and what we can't do. Jack says, did you say Faraday? He's here? Sawyer replies, not anymore.
What? What?
At the barracks, a large sign has been hung that reads, welcome new recruits. Ride, Captain, Ride by Blues Image. Ride, Captain, Ride. I'm not actually going to do this.
Ride, Captain, ride upon your mistress ship. There you go. Also, did anybody notice how adorable Kate looks in the shirt that they put her in, the little 70s get up?
Yeah.
Adorbs.
Yeah.
And her hair in the braid, and it's just so cute.
Sawyer pulls up in the van as an announcement comes over the PA. Recruits will be going inside for processing, where you'll be given your work assignment and lodging. Sawyer looks at Jack, Kate, and Hurley, saying, put these on and listen up. Julie's got it worked out, so your name's going to be on the list, all right? So when you get in there, just watch the little meet and greet video and wait for them to call your name. When they do, just smile, step up, take your jumpsuits and your work assignments. Just remember to act a little doped up because you just woke up from the sub. Hurley says, what if they start asking us questions we can't answer, like, who's the president in 1977?
What? Hurley, you can't answer that? Oh, no.
Sawyer says, it's not a game show. And he's got all their backs.
Jeopardy.
Miles pulls up in another van and says, LaFleur, where have you been? I've been trying to reach you on the walkie. And then he notices Jack, Hurley, Kate, and says, what the hell are they doing here? LaFleur says, they're the new recruits, and he'll explain later, so stop staring.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, he was. Like he saw dead people or something.
Right? Miles says, Jin, there's a 14J at the Flame. Sawyer immediately radios Jin, who tells him they have a hostile in custody. We see Radzinsky put Saeed inside a room while Sawyer says, "What's he doing in our territory? It's a violation of the truce." Jin lowers his voice and says, "It's Saeed's." Sawyer, of course, says, "Son of a bitch."
Yep.
He wants to know if anyone else is with Saeed, and a sad Jin says, "No, he was alone."
Yeah.
Whoa, where's Son?
Speaking of, back in 2000, or fast
30
forward,
years
2007, 40 years later. Is that where we
30.
are?
30.
Yeah,
Oh, I was
30 years.
70s. That's right. 30 years later, 2007, on Hydra Island, Ben and Son are walking through the jungle, and she asks him to wait for a second. He says, "I'm sorry, son, but waiting doesn't interest me much right now. There are 3 outriggers near here, and I'm going to take one. So you can come along and help me row, or you can stay here. Frankly, it makes no difference to me." Ben takes off his sling, and Son asks why he's leaving. He says, "Why are you staying?" She wants to know if Jin is on the main island. Ben says he honestly doesn't know, but that's where he'd start looking.
Mm-hmm.
Lapidus catches up to them and calls for Son. Ben says, "Hello, Frank."
You just sounded just like him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lapidus checks in on Son and says he got worried when he couldn't find her. She says Ben knows where a boat is and that they're going to the island. Lapidus questions whether Son really thinks she can trust Ben. She says, "I have to trust him."
Oh.
Oof.
Ben walks ahead to where one of the outriggers are and uncovers one. Lapidus says, "Son, I want you to think about this, okay? This guy is dangerous. That boat I came on, it was filled with commandos whose only mission was to get him." Ben says,
Yep.
"And how'd that go for everyone? Or how'd that work out?"
Yeah, exactly.
I fucking love that line.
Yep.
That made me laugh out loud. Christy
Yep,
looks
me
not
too.
at all amused.
I totally
That was
ate that
so
line
funny.
too, because it was supposed to be, "And how'd that work out for everyone?" But, whoops.
I don't even know. Did you say it wrong? I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I said, "And how'd that
noticed.
go? How'd that go for everyone?" is what I said.
Oh,
That's
wow,
right, yeah.
whatever. I mean,
It was
same
still funny
difference.
either way. Shit.
Yeah. The point is, it was fucking hilarious.
Lapidus is pleading with her not to go. So she should blip. So she suggests, wow, that's really, so she suggests.
So she suggests seashore, bound by the seashore.
Pennsylvania. Okay.
He
Jesus
brought up
Christ,
Trump.
a bushmouth.
Oh my God, you guys! You brought it up. You brought Trump up. Pennsylvania.
That's
I
right.
didn't
That's
see
right.
that.
What is that?
Well, that was in one of his rallies when he told everybody that if the Democrats win, they're going
Trump?
to
They were
they're
gonna
going to
change the name of
of Pennsylvania. And he screams it like a weirdo.
And what are they going to change it to?
Nothing.
I don't know.
He never
No,
gets to it.
He never said it.
There's
Just
no
rambling.
He just says
No.
Pennsylvania, and then he says Pennsylvania again, and he goes, they're going to change the name. They're going to change the name to Pennsylvania.
Why the fuck would they change the name?
I
of
don't
that?
know.
Who the hell knows what he's talking about? But the point is,
He
did
probably
anybody
didn't even know.
did you see the news yesterday? It'll be last week by the time this airs.
Oh, yeah.
The judgment, the
Oh,
civil
the judgment,
judgment.
yeah.
$454 million.
Oh, for the shit he did in New York or whatever.
Good Lord, that's a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Good Lord. Oh, I love it. It just warms my heart.
Bankrupt
Fuck this
party
asshole.
watching or
Yeah.
bankruptcy.
Anywho.
Lapidus is pleading with her not to go, so she suggests that Lapidus go with them. Lapidus says he's got a group of people to look after. People that he crashed here on this fucking island, but now he's thinking,
Yeah, exactly. Knowing what's going to happen.
Ben says, "That's right, Frank. A captain's first responsibility is to his passengers, but I have people I have to take care of too."
Mm-hmm.
There's a small dock about half a mile due south across the water. It leads directly to a town where I used to live. There are resources there, so if anyone can help you and the rest of the plane get out of here safely, But before he can finish, Son smashes his head with an oar, knocking him unconscious.
Christy was so fucking happy.
Yeah.
I
She probably
honestly,
leaped out of her chair. Yes.
yeah, I had honestly forgotten every single thing that happened in this episode.
Me
Like,
too.
all of this is new to
Yeah,
me.
it is, me
and
too.
going forward, it will almost all be new to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is
Well,
fun.
That was
And
a
this
pleasant
explains why
surprise.
Ben was in the infirmary.
Wait,
He got
which
whacked on the head.
Oh, right. Yeah. After the crash. Yeah. While he was like knocked unconscious in the infirmary. Yeah. So, I also loved this moment. I mean, I love Ben Linus, but that was fucking badass and good for Son. And I guess and good for the next line that Ben is about to deliver. It's fucking amazing. And I love her. Go ahead, Ben.
A surprised Lapita says, I thought you trusted this guy. Son replies, I lied.
She had the smallest little smile on her face and the glint in her eye. I was like, fuck you, Son.
She is such a badass. I love this.
Which ore did you use? Either or.
Oh
my God.
No.
There we go. Bad Ben joke.
Yeah, had to. Back to 1977, at the Dharma barracks, an orientation video is playing. Welcome to the island. For your comfort and safety, we ask that you stay within the confines of your new living quarters. Our barracks are surrounded by a high-frequency sonar fence. He did say sonar fence, didn't he?
I know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
A high-frequency sonar fence to protect us from the island's abundant and diverse wildlife.
Ping.
See, you guys all laughed at me, and maybe that wasn't even a typo in last week's episode. Maybe it actually said that.
Yeah.
I don't know now. I'm questioning it.
Yeah.
That doesn't really
or
make sense.
Or maybe I fucked it up again. Maybe I wrote sonar twice for no reason.
No,
I think it did say sonar fence.
Okay, I just looked on Lostopedia, and they call it a sonar fence. The high-frequency sonar fence was a continuous stream of high-intensity sound waves generated, blah, blah, blah. So they call it that, too. Wow. Whoops.
I'm so confused now.
It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't. It's not real.
Kate asks, Kate asks, how are we going to do this? To which I respond, I'm just going to slide it in.
Oh, my God.
But before Jack can respond, Phil calls his name. He says, here we go. And then walks over to Phil, who directs him to take a seat. Dr. Pierre Chang.
Right at this point, before Jack sits down with Dr. Chang, you can see in the corner, like they have stations set up. And one of the stations says inoculations. And I'm thinking, shouldn't you have taken care of that before you
came to the island? Yeah.
Yeah, don't bring your diseases to the island.
Yeah. And wouldn't that be the thing, like in Portland, like we're going to inoculate you and then you're going to drink the crazy drink? Like, I don't understand why that would even be there. It annoyed me a little bit.
Maggots out there going, no vaccines, no inoculations, hey, microchips.
No way. The maggots are not Dharma material. Okay.
No. I mean, Radzinsky kind of seems like he would be a maggot.
Possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. So sitting there doing the grunt work is Dr. Pierre Chang. Now, I've noticed there's some similarities in this actor and the names that he has in these shows. There's always a French element and there's always a Chinese element, I'm assuming. So in this, it's Pierre Chang. In the show The Expanse, his name is Jules Pierre Mao.
Oh, that's right. It is Pierre again.
And in real life, his name is Francois Chow. So that's like
maybe he wants to work in the French into all of his characters because he's proud of both parts of his heritage.
Sure, yeah.
Is he actually French?
I don't know.
I'm assuming.
I am.
I mean, I'm assuming he's probably.
So his other aliases on Lost do not follow that pattern.
Correct. Yeah.
Because he goes by Marvin Candle, Mark Wickman, and Edgar Halliwax.
Yeah. But I think this one might actually be his real name.
Candle Wax. He has like candle names and everything.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I never noticed that.
Well done.
Yeah.
Wick, candle, and wax. Holy shit, Derek. You just blew this fucker wide open.
Bum, bum, bum.
But yeah, the actor is Francois Chow. So I guess if your name's Francois, maybe you're from.
You have to be French, but
Let me see.
We don't have to be, but
he's,
I mean,
No,
Cambodian.
he's Cambodian. He's not even Chinese.
Where the French were
Where the
definitely
French
in
settled.
Vietnam
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Cambodia.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
We.
Yeah. So
We.
there you go. That's where
Yep.
it comes
That's why.
from. Fascinating.
Holiday in Cambodia. Okay.
What?
I think it's kind of cool that, all of
Yeah.
that worked out the way it did.
Yeah.
At the age of 7, he moved from Saigon to France because of the Vietnam
Wow.
War.
Oh, cool.
So there we go.
He's in
So-
so much stuff. He's another one of these guys that shows
Oh,
up on
everywhere.
like
Yeah.
every TV show in the world. Yeah.
So Dr. Pierre Chang, if that is truly his name, sits down and complains about not being able to find Jack's file. He shakes Jack's hand and says, "Namaste." Then he asks about the ride in and who his shuttle driver was. Jack says it was fine and Mr. LaFleur. Jack replies, "Ah, yes, good man, LaFleur. Runs a very tight operation."
Hilarious, by the way.
Yes.
Did you see the look on Jack's face when Chang said he runs a tight operation? It
Jack
was
is not enthralled.
Oh, he's so unhappy. And you just
Yeah.
saw his face was like, excuse me? He does a what now?
He's an authority figure and I can't run shit.
What leader
Yeah.
Jack can't be leader Jack.
I know.
Yes.
It just gets better and better, though.
Oh,
it does.
absolutely.
It really
Because
does.
the following, the following
Oh,
moment,
yeah.
like he's just wrapping his head around how Sawyer has this position of authority, and then
Oh
He,
yeah.
he finally finds Jack's assignment and tells him it's in the shed. Jack looks at his new jumpsuit labeled Workman and asks what that means. Chang says, based on your aptitude test, you'll be doing janitorial work.
Good job, Sawyer.
oh my god,
Jack immediately knows Sawyer is behind this and chuckles a bit. On the other side of the room, Phil is questioning Kate, who he can't find on the list. Juliet runs in with a new list that has some last-minute additions. Phil says Juliet can handle it. So Phil leaves.
Yeah, I was wondering if Juliet was doing something there, you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
She turns to Kate and says, I'm sorry for the mix-up. I'm Juliet. Kate says her name, and they shake hands. Juliet says, hi, Kate. Welcome to the island.
Ooh-wee, there was some tension there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was. Well, so I thought at first like she purposely left Kate off to be like, oh, I'll get this bitch out of here now.
Julia comes storming in with a gun, cocks it so everybody knows she's serious, points it at Kate, and is like, she's a hostile.
This girl's a phony.
Oh my god. I snorted. Yeah, I did.
Sawyer arrives at the flame and asks Jin what happened. Jin says that Saeed just came walking out of the jungle alone and handcuffed. He couldn't get any more info because Radzinsky showed up and thought he was a hostile. Sawyer says, I got this. And they go inside. Radzinsky says he's locked him in the storage room and Sawyer asks for the key. Radzinsky says, you need to know, LaFleur, he saw the model of the Swan and he could have seen the survey of where we're building it. He's a spy.
Ridiculous.
Shut up, Radzinsky. Shut up.
This whole thing is
Saw
an
my
act.
matchsticks.
Yeah.
Right. This whole thing is an act, and we either play into it or we don't. We can end this right now. Sawyer asks him what the point is, and Radzinsky says, we shoot him.
Uh-oh.
Sawyer says
Whoa.
he appreciates his input, but calls him quick draw and says he's going to talk first. Radzinsky tosses Sawyer the keys, who tosses them to Jin. Saeed is dragged out, and his face is one of surprise when he sees Sawyer.
Yeah, I
They
think.
sit him in a chair, and Sawyer says, my name's LaFleur. I'm head of security. I want you to listen real carefully to what I got to say.
I love this too, because
Yeah.
it's like, it's all coded, like, right? Like, just
Oh, yeah.
listen closely. I am going to guide you through this.
So Sawyer says, my name's LaFleur. I'm head of security. I want you to listen real carefully to what I have to say. And if you do that, you'll be fine. Understand? Saeed nods and LaFleur continues. All right, let's start simple. Identify yourself as a hostile. Saeed stays quiet, so LaFleur warns him by saying, The terms of the truce say you got to identify yourself as a hostile, or we get the right to shoot you.
Uh-oh.
In other words,
in other words, say it. It's your only way to stay alive.
Saeed says, we do not refer to ourselves as hostile, but yes, I am one of them. LaFleur sighs and says, all right, good. Then we can proceed like a couple of gentlemen. Let's go. He pulls Saeed up, and Radzinsky is pissed. He insists on accompanying them and says he will talk directly to Horace about this. LaFleur says, fine, talk away.
Pain in the ass.
Is Radzinsky the new...
Yeah, he is. He's just
we haven't had one of those in a while.
He's a chode.
Ooh.
Yes, definitely a chode.
Oh my gosh.
2007, on the island. There's a nighttime shot of both of the islands, and then Sun and Lapidus can be seen tethering the outrigger on the dock. He wants a reminder of why they are doing this. Sun explains that Ben told her this was the best place to look for Jinn. Lapidus says, oh, I see. That's some advice you took before we whacked him on the head. As they walk along the dock, leaves rustle, branches snap, and a familiar noise can be heard. Lapidus says, tell me you saw that. Sun pretends that she thinks it's just an animal. They make it to the barracks, which look entirely run down. Lapidus thinks this is hopeless, and they should head back. A sign creaks in the wind, and then whispering can be heard. The light comes on the inside of one of the homes. The door creaks open, and a shadowy figure steps out. Hello? Lapidus responds, who the hell are you? The man says, my name's Christian.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Sun asks if he knows where her husband, Jin Kwan, is, and Christian says, follow me.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
What?
What? And they find him.
It's sort of.
They enter a dark room with photos on the wall. Christian examines them, saying 72, 76, 78. Sun says, where is my husband? Christian finds the photo he's looking for and says, here we go. 77. He's with your friends. Sun is rightfully confused, so Christian hands her the photo. It's a Dharma Initiative new recruit photo. It shows a big banner that says, Namaste, new recruits. Under the banner is a group of people wearing flowers around their necks. Among them are Jack, Kate, Hurley. Christian says, I'm sorry, but you have a bit of a journey ahead of you.
What the fuck?
It's time for a quest.
Technically, the journey
time travel time
is behind you, but that's fine.
Yeah, I know. The journey is sort of behind me, but okay.
Yeah.
And did you notice something in this photo? Derek, I think last week you and Dave had the hots for Juliet in her mechanic wear. And did anybody notice that Kate is also in a blue jumpsuit?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Oh, someone needs a tune-up.
Juliet's keeping her close by so she can keep an eye on her.
That's right.
Maybe.
She doesn't want Kate throwing a monkey wrench into this.
Oh boy.
Oh.
All I'm saying is, there could be some more sexy mechanic scenes.
Oh, yeah. The new recruits are gathering for the photo in Sun's hand. The man taking the photo tells everyone to say, Namaste.
Namaste.
The group says it together, except for Hurley, who says, Nama what? The camera clicks, and then Phil claps his hands and says, okay, right on. So you guys have the rest of the day to get acquainted with your security protocol handbooks, waiting in your new digs. Now, some of it may seem a little scary, but I promise you, we're all perfectly safe here, okay? So make yourselves at home. Come on, we got hamburgers, we got punch, warning sign.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kool-Aid.
yeah. I feel like that's not an appropriate beverage. Well,
Jim
actually,
Jones.
oh no, this is before Jonestown.
Yeah.
This is 1977. Jonestown happened on November 19th, 1978. I know, because it was the day before I was born. And my mom said it was the only thing on the TV in the hospital when she was giving birth.
Wow.
So,
you
yeah.
know a lot about Mr. Jones.
I know a lot about all kinds of cult leaders and
Oh, me
serial
too.
killers and criminals because
Donald
human
Trump, yeah.
behavior fascinates me.
Me too.
Sawyer. Sawyer radios on the walkie to say he's coming in with a 14J, and Phil says, Roger that, Mr. LaFleur. The van pulls up, and Phil asks everyone to back up because of a minor security situation.
Oh, boy.
Sawyer, Jin, and Radzinsky step out with Saeed, and they march him away. Hurley says, I guess we found Saeed.
He has so many great one-liners in this episode.
Nama, what?
Inside the security office, they march Saeed down the stairs and into a prison cell. Sawyer says Saeed can stay there until they figure out what to do with him.
I feel the need now to let everyone know the reason that we're laughing is because we just cut out the last 6 times he tried to say this sentence and it didn't work. And we were laughing that it was like Dave trying to pronounce foliage last week.
Yeah,
decided
the
to
last 67
restart.
times he tried to say the sentence. It's just like alliterative massacre.
Oh my God. All right. Just keep going.
And then he tells Phil to bring him some damn food because they aren't savages.
Oh.
As Sawyer closes the door, he gives Saeed a reassuring glance. It's nighttime at the barracks, and Jack stops Phil to ask where James LaFleur lives. Phil points him in the right direction, but advises him not to call him James because he hates it. Jack knocks on the door and is surprised when Juliet answers it. Oh, just gut punch after gut punch.
Yes.
The look on both of their faces.
Yep. She might as well have just come to the door with jizz on her face. It was.
Oh my God.
Like Sawyer just finished on her.
Well, he doesn't even believe it. In a second, I mean, he says, I think I'm at the wrong house. He doesn't get it right away.
Yeah.
He's just in shock to see her. Yeah, the next blow comes 30 seconds later when he realizes LaFleur is in there relaxing in his armchair.
Yep. They hug, and Jack apologizes for not saying hello earlier. She understands since they aren't supposed to know each other. Jack thinks he must have come into the wrong house because he's looking for Sawyer. Juliet says, no, come in. He does, and finds Sawyer sitting in a comfy chair reading a paperback. He says, evening, Doc.
Jack's face. Jack's fucking face. He can't take it. He cannot take this.
He is just...
Yeah. Juliet excuses herself, and Sawyer offers Jack a beer. Jack chuckles and says he's fine. Sawyer wants to know how he can help him, and Jack exhales deeply and says...
Jack says, you could stop stealing all my fucking girls.
Right.
How about that? How about that?
Start oiling yourself up, Jack.
What?
Start working out.
Oh, that's it. It's the oil that gets him. Well,
Yes,
yeah, I mean, that's valid.
I could see him, he walks in, and it's both Kate and Juliet on their knees. There's jism all over the floor. He's like, mop it up, Workman.
Yes.
Shit. Oh, my God.
I think I killed the host.
Yep, you're a jizz mopper.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I don't think I've laughed that hard since the ugly kid in season 2.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
my
Yes.
God.
Lacey's dying now.
Yeah.
I think I killed
She's gagging.
Oh, my God.
Giggity.
It literally took my breath away. I laughed so fucking hard at that. Oh, my God. Anyways.
So Jack exhales deeply and says, I don't even know where to start. How about with Saeed? Sawyer says he had no choice because his people caught him in the jungle. He had to improvise because he couldn't tell the truth about how they really got there. But for now, Saeed is safe and he's working on the rest. Jack says, really? Because it looks to me like you were reading a book.
Oh, no.
Man.
Sawyer
Excuse
laughs a little
you.
and then says, I heard once Winston Churchill read a book every night, even during the Blitz. He said it made him think better. It's how I like to run things. I think. I'm sure that doesn't mean much to you because back when you were calling the shots, you pretty much just reacted. See, you didn't think, Jack, and as I recall, a lot of people ended up dead.
Wow.
Well,
Defensive Jack points out he got them off the island, and Sawyer says, but here you are, right back where you started.
Uh-oh.
boom.
So I'm going to go back to reading my book, and I'm going to think, because that's how I saved your ass today, and that's how I'm going to save Saeed's tomorrow. All you got to do is go home and get a good night's sleep. Let me do what I do.
Wow.
He ushers Jack out the door and stops for a minute outside to wait, to wave at Kate, who was standing on her porch.
Like, come on over.
Oh, and one other thing he does is he does say to Jack, "Isn't that a relief? Like that you don't have to do anything?"
Yeah,
and Jack tries to fake it. He fakes it, right? Because he's like, yeah. But you can tell in his face, it's like, no, I have to be in charge. I have to be calling the shots. I don't want a reprieve from that. If I'm not doing that, then what's my worth?
Why did I come back here?
Yeah, I don't even have women anymore. Shit.
Seriously.
Janitor.
I'm choking thinking about that again. Oh my God.
Jizz mopper now. Fuck.
Oh my God. Whew.
Mop it up, Doc.
Yep.
In the security office, a young boy we've seen before enters and tells Phil he wants to bring the prisoner a sandwich. Phil allows it, and the boy enters the cell room, and he says, "Hello, I brought you a sandwich. I didn't put mustard on it, but if you'd like some, I could get some." A charmed Saeed replies, "This will be fine, thank you." The boy asks Saeed if he's a hostile, and Saeed replies, "Do you think I am?" The boy doesn't answer, but instead asks Saeed his name. Saeed tells him, and then asks the boy the same question. The boy says, "I'm Ben."
What?
A wide-eyed Saeed takes a moment to absorb the information and then replies, "It's nice to meet you, Ben."
What?
Lost title screen. End of episode.
What the fuck?
Oh my God. Goosebumps. I'm like covered in goosebumps because you just see every thought hitting Saeed all at once. Like, holy fuck. This is Benjamin Linus.
It's like, I need to kill this guy now.
Yeah. Wearing the same glasses his whole life, I guess.
Yeah.
Quite an episode. We'll get back to it in a second, but it's time for fun facts. Which are, of course, on Namaste.
Oh, boy, Ben. Yes. Gilgamesh.
Nama what?
Yeah.
If you practice yoga, you've probably heard the word Namaste before. Maybe your yoga instructor closed the class by saying this. Maybe you even said it back. But do you know what Namaste actually means?
What about yoga farts?
What? What the hell is a yoga fart?
I don't know. Fart when you're doing yoga? I don't know.
It was a skit on Jackass.
Oh, is that what it was?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes when you stretch, it's like, oh, relax and stretch.
Wow.
It happens.
Yeah, I don't fart in yoga, but maybe I'll try it. I don't know.
And with women's leggings, those things are so tight, it's like a bubble that runs up their leg.
There's YouTube
That is
videos.
disgusting.
There's YouTube videos, 10-minute yoga to fart and poop.
Oh my God.
Oh
my God.
Yeah, there are definitely poses that are supposed to open you up like that. Yeah.
Okay. Namaste is an expression that has been used for literally thousands of years. And while it has many different translations and uses, it is above all an expression of respect. It's derived from two key Sanskrit words, nama, which means bow, adoration, salutation, and then te, which means to you. So the most literal translation of namaste is I bow to you. Other well-known borrowings from Sanskrit in English include the words karma and nirvana. There are actually many different ways to interpret the word namaste. This is in part because there's no single translation of the word. There are many meanings, including hello, welcome, I see you, I honor you, I respect you, we are one, we are equal, my spirit bows to your spirit, the divine in me honors the divine in you, farewell, and goodbye. So it's kind of like Smurf, I guess.
It's sort of like fuck. It just can mean anything.
Or fuck.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So when saying namaste, we typically bow the head slightly and bring the hands together at the heart center. This is a position called mudra. and a hand gesture called Anjali Mudra. There is, in fact, a Namaste prayer, and I'm going to read it to you. I honor the place in you in which the whole universe resides. I honor the place of love, light, and peace. When you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are truly one. Namaste. I'm not sure why Ben doesn't trust people.
We are truly one. What?
Why do you not trust people who say that? Do you still have the same opinion, babe, even after the explanation?
Mm-hmm.
Is it because your ex-girlfriend was a yoga instructor?
No, it's got nothing to do with that.
Okay. I wasn't sure. All right, guys.
She would teach classes and she'd end it. She'd say like namaste, but she knew not to do that shit when I was around. Like she did not take that shit into like personal, like
fucking namaste.
If we were out with people or going out or something like that, she wouldn't be like namaste. She'd just be like, hey, see you later. You know.
I see. So it's the regular greeting of it outside of that context that makes you wonder.
Yeah, it's when people do it outside of fucking yoga class. It's just like,
okay.
Oh God, because I feel like they're immediately just trying to impress upon you. Hey, I'm hippie, I'm new world or whatever.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, fuck off.
When I hear that, I think, oh yeah, I'm hippie and all that.
Yeah, everything after you say that is fucking suspect.
You hear that, Pierre Chang? All right, let's do some best and worst moments. How about we start with Derek today?
Okay, yeah, I had a couple of best moments. I did even though I like Ben, I liked when Sun knocked his ass out there with the oar. And then she goes, I lied. It's awesome. I also like the ending when Saeed asked the boy's name and it's fucking Ben Linus.
Yup.
My worst moments was just fucking Radzinsky being a total douche. Wanting to kill Saeed and quick draw McGraw. I mean, come on, man.
Oh my God, Derek.
Not a fan.
Ours were almost identical. Under best moments, I had 2 quotes and how'd that work out for everyone? Quick, followed shortly by I lied. And my worst moment, I just wrote Radzinsky's bitching. So, So we were the same. What about you, Christy?
So for my best moment, it was Sawyer's response to Jack about reading books and thinking.
Yeah.
He really put Jack in his place.
Yeah.
It was just beautiful. And also Jack realizing that he got Workman because of his, aptitude tests.
so fucking great.
Workman fit better on the breast of this suit than Jizzmopper did.
Oh my God.
And for worst moment, I think Saeed realizing that Ben Linus is standing before him outside of the cell. Just the look on Saeed's face. And I'm sure that at some point, maybe like in the Volkswagen on the way to Dharmaville, maybe that's when somebody explained to Saeed.
No, because Radzinsky was there. No, there was no choice. There was no chance. Because Radzinsky was with them. And remember, Saeed says, I can't talk to him because he won't leave us alone. So he had no idea that he was in 1977 until this little boy who clearly looks exactly like Ben Linus and the same glasses says Ben. And that's when Saeed was like, what?
Well, and this actor was so good at just the facial expressions and the eyes and the tone of voice and everything. He did such a great job. He was creepy as fuck. So
Naveen Andrews you mean there, or you mean the Ben Linus?
The kid, Ben Linus.
The kid playing Ben Linus. Oh, who I also saw in an episode of Criminal Minds. The child actor, he plays like a teenage psychopath on an episode of Criminal Minds.
Wow.
So he's typecast?
I guess.
He was actually arrested last year in real life for mass murder.
He was not.
What?
No, probably not.
No, he totally made that up. Ben, what were your best and worst moments?
My best moments were basically sort of a mix of what you guys have already said. The reveal to Saeed that Ben is feeding him sandwiches. Son smacking Ben in the back of the head with an oar, knocking his ass out. The assignment of Jack as Workman. The hug on the beach where Hurley, where he calls him Kong or whatever, and Hurley's like, I kind of miss that.
Yeah.
And then the same thing where Sawyer is basically taking Jack to task and saying, like, I read books, I plan, I'm actually really good at what I do, just let me do it, shut up, is essentially what he says.
Basically.
My least favorite was a moment that did not happen. And that was when Juliet did not spike the baby. I needed that to happen, and it didn't, and it left me wanting.
Oh, were you going to say something, Christy?
Yeah, even when Sawyer was being asshole Sawyer, like at the beginning, he was constantly reading books. He was clearly a very smart person because he was mostly very successful con artist.
Yeah.
You can't be stupid and be a successful criminal.
Well, Trump.
No, I mean, there's a lot of different types of intelligence.
Yeah.
Trump is a useful idiot.
Yeah, that's true. But he is stupid and a successful con artist. At least he was. Now I guess he's facing some consequences. But but yeah, the kind of con I think that that Sawyer is playing, he's going after women who have money, and like he's going to have to be charming and well-read and educated so that he can rip off, those type of people. So yeah, I agree with you. Darling, were you done with your best and worst moments?
I am.
All right, let's get into rankings. Christy, what are your power rankings and your fucking kill this week?
So at the bottom of the bottom, I have Ethan. I don't care if it's a baby. Ethan is creepy. In the middle of the bottom, I have Phil. I just don't really care for him.
He's annoying.
Yeah, and then at the top of the bottom, I have Radzinsky. Because he's Radzinsky. On the top, at the bottom of the top, I have Sun for knocking out Ben. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I have Jin because his quick thinking basically saved Saeed's life. And Sawyer for the thinking speech.
Yeah.
And then I am going to fuck a very thoughtful Sawyer, and I'm going to kill baby Ethan.
You boy, that's what we do around here. We kill kids. God. All right, Derek, are you killing a baby?
My third worst was Jack, just because, he's been kind of whiny internally. Yeah.
Internal whining.
Yeah, because I can see by his face, he just is like, I got to be in charge, damn it, not you. And the second worst is Ethan. And the worst was Radzinsky, just because being a total douche and pain in the ass. My third best was Juliet, just because, getting everyone into the DHARMA initiative and not screwing Kate over.
She had some quick thinking, too.
Yeah.
And my second best was Lapidus, because he landed that plane. He landed right there and only killed a co-pilot. That's actually very impressive, landing a plane of that size with, one fatality.
Yeah,
that's true.
Seriously.
Yeah. And then my best is Sawyer, because he's keeping it going and keeping everyone safe and reading his book every night. Thinking before acting. I'm going to fuck Sun after she knocks out Ben and telling me that she lied. And I'm going to kill baby Ethan. Join the baby killers.
Oh, God. Oh, this is amazing. All right. I'm going to go next myself. In third worst, I had Alana because I'm suspicious of her. I don't like that she was calm on the airplane. I'm the only one that seemed to notice that, but it definitely bugged me. I have Caesar as the second worst. I don't like him. He's too pushy, and I don't know. I don't like him, and I also don't trust him because of the gun issue.
What, hiding guns makes you not trust someone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the top, I had Radzinsky because he's just like an annoying jackass, honestly. Third best, I had Hurley because he had a bunch of like great one-liners in this episode. Second, I have Sun because she bashed Ben in the head with an oar, and I fucking loved it. And of course, at the top, I have Sawyer. He has come into his own. He is running things. And again, also for that speech to Jack, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
I'm fucking Lapidus because he landed the plane so beautifully. And yeah, this is what we do now. We kill kids on Lost in My 40s. So I'm going to punt Ethan into the ground as well.
Spike him.
Yeah, you spike him. You punch him away from the ground. And
I spiked him into the ground. Whatever. Ben, can you give us your rankings and then update us, please?
Yeah, I'm going to. My third worst, I've got Ethan. I would put him higher, but he's a baby at this point and has no agency, so I can't put him any higher than that. Second, I'm going to put Amy Goodspeed for hatching that little bastard.
Okay. That explains it.
Hatching him? Oh my God.
Yeah.
God.
Oh yeah, I know he came from an egg. It's obvious.
Did it?
The
we all
worst is
did.
going to be Radzinsky. He's just unsightly. He's gross. The neck beard, everything. His whole sort of. At the top, I've got Sun in third place for her, close-in melee work with that oar, knocking Ben the fuck out. And I've got Juliet in second place and Sawyer, and they're just sort of a tag team in this one, right? Like they were just sort of working together, doing their thing. They're thoughtful. They're competent. They're thinking on their feet. So yeah, Sawyer on top because he's, like you said, he's coming to his own, and he's probably looks like he's coming to Jack's own too.
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck Alana again because I just think she's hot, and
She's very pretty.
Yeah.
She is.
And I am going to steal that baby from Juliet, spike that little fucker into the ground.
Oh my God.
Ethan, dead.
Oh my God. Did Ethan sweep the kills?
He swept it.
He swept the kills. He's like 2 days old.
We're literally all about infanticide here. It would seem.
Yes,
no.
we definitely
oh my
are.
God. Okay. Wow. Please, Ben, update us. Tell us if one child replaced the other on our bottom.
Okay. So, at the end of episode 9, third from the bottom, we have Frogert falling from second to third with 29 points.
What?
Charles Widmore falling from first to second with 31 points. And on top, and that means Aaron has fallen out of the bottom three. And at the top of the bottom of the top of the bottom of whatever that means, the worst is Ethan, the infant, at negative 36 points. It took one episode.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
We knocked a toddler out of third place and put a 2-day-old in the work.
Yes. Yep.
Oh my God. And in the top.
In the top, they have no changes for third and second. We still have Locke in third place with 49 points and Dan Faraday in second with 52 points. Sawyer retains the top spot and is just running away with it now. Went from 62 points to 85 points.
Awesome.
Wow.
Oh, shit. Good for you, Sawyer. We're so proud of you. Okay, let's do some final impressions of episode 9, Namaste. How about you, Christy?
I loved this episode. Just getting to see the fact that Sawyer is so well respected, and seeing how Hurley and Kate, and especially Jack, react to that was absolutely amazing. I love that Sawyer basically told Saeed it's going to be okay. He just listen to me. Don't do anything. I've got it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love everything Sawyer right now.
We're all on Team Sawyer, I think, which is great. Yeah, I also thought it was a great episode. I loved seeing the Sawyer versus Jack with Sawyer having the power. I love watching Sawyer wield that power in positive ways, as opposed to something destructive and reactive, as he, said to Jack. I love at the very end, the echoes of season 2 when Benjamin Linus was pretending to be. Wait, what was the guy's name? The balloon man? Henry Gale. I can't believe I forgot that for a second. When Benjamin Linus was pretending to be Henry Gale and he was in prison. He was locked up and somebody was bringing him sandwiches. And now we have Saeed in 77 locked up and it's Benjamin Linus bringing him sandwiches. So I love how the writers do that. I think Dave talked about that a little last week too, how like the echoes of scenes. That's another one this week. And yeah, I agree. Overall, a great episode. It's also super fun to see more of the like inside of the Dharma Initiative, which I think is great too. Ben, how about you?
Yeah, I was actually looking before we recorded this. I was kind of looking at the top episodes or whatever of season 5, and this one was near the bottom actually, which I was really surprised by because I thought this
voted on by whom?
I don't. Who the fuck knows? Yeah, it was
okay. Well, all right.
Yeah, it was one of those things. It was online. I don't know, Screen Rant or something like that. But
okay.
Yeah, this one was like in the bottom 5, and I was just like, it sort of puzzled me a bit because I think this is a great episode. I like, in addition to seeing the scenes that we've already talked about and some of those kind of poignant moments, the fact that like Jack had such a hard on to get back to the island and to find when he gets back, all of this stuff is nowhere, it's just not what
it's not about him.
It's not about him. He's finding that out.
Yeah.
And, that's, I think in order for Jack to save himself as a character, he has to like live into that and just be like, you're not the hero, right?
Yeah.
You're not really the hero. At this point,
you never really were.
Yeah, he never really was.
So is that what would redeem Jack in your eyes, is if you saw him acknowledge it's not about me?
Yeah, it's him realizing that this is about them. This is about all of them together, and he's not their leader. He hasn't been their leader in a really long time.
Well, I will say in season 6, that question will be foisted upon Jack, and you will see. Yeah, you will see his reaction to that. So that is upcoming.
So, but yeah. That's actually it for the show. I just think I really, really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was really well written.
Okay. Well, I guess we are bucking the trend on this one. How about you, Derek? What did you think of season 5, episode 9, Namaste?
I thought it was a really good episode, too. One of the best of the season. I just liked how it went. And, like more of the originals are now part of the Dharma, thanks to Sawyer.
Yeah.
Integrating them in there, and I'm sure he'll figure a way to get Saeed in there. And yeah, Jack is definitely not happy that he's not the man in charge or the hero, and he's just been relegated to being a jizz mopper.
Oh my God.
You know how much the average jizz mopper makes?
Oh, no.
I don't know, but I know I'm sure they exist.
Yeah, they're somewhere, some clubs somewhere.
Those
probably.
video stores, those adult stores, they have those booths or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Peep shows.
Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. So the couple of questions is, where's Faraday? Because he's no longer there.
Right.
And how's Sun going to get back to Jen? And, what's this bit of a journey she has to go on?
Wow. All right. Wow. Both of those questions will be answered, Derek. Although not next week. In fact, next week, we don't have an episode. We are on hiatus, and you're going to have to find us on YouTube for the season 5 mid-show. I've got a new joke for you. We answer some fan questions, and I'm going to tell you about how I kind of sort of maybe almost died about a month ago. So check that out on YouTube next week. And then in 2 weeks, On Wednesday, March 6th, you're going to get season 5, episode 10. It's called He's Our You. It's time for Christy to get another Saeed episode. Join us as we get reacquainted with Saeed. We find out how he got onto Flight 316. And if you thought this week's episode had a shocking ending, wait till episode 10. All right, guys. We'll see you next week on YouTube. Bye.
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 Lost in My 40s is a Space Bear Media production. Executive produced and edited by me, Lacey J. Sound engineering, editing, and original music by Benjamin Trimp. Like and follow Lost in My 40s on Facebook and SpaceBear_media on Instagram and Threads. Plus, follow Space Bear Media on YouTube for extra video content. Or for everything in one place, go to spacebearmedia.com.